beautiful Sports Oriental Center here in Shanghai, China, as we get set for a matchup between Canada and Jordan. FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019 classification round here. Group P. Carlin Gay alongside Mark Clark. Mark, a game against two teams in totally different places right now. Canada feeling a little bit better of themselves after defeating Senegal before arriving here in Shanghai. Jordan still looking for their first victory here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Well, absolutely, and it almost a sort of role reversal, because obviously for Jordan, their first game was their best game, whereas Canada reversed that. Jordan came very close to, getting a first win, only losing by 4, but then in the last 2 games have really been put to the sword, so to speak, losing by 30-plus points. But obviously for both teams, the aspiration is get into the top 24, win both games here for Jordan, and they could be in the top 24, and that will give them the opportunity to find themselves in the Olympic qualifying tournament. So their World Cup dream is over, but an Olympic dream still sits there for a team that was very good in qualifiers, has a lot of players that have that qualification experience. It's something like 7 of this lineup played in most, over 1 or over the games in the qualifiers. And they've got some quality and they've got some experience. So if anyone thinks, Asia as a region is struggling, then Canada from the Americas is going to roll this team over, think again. It was a 4-point game, first game up for Jordan when they had the really tough loss. Let's just put it down as a tough loss to the Dominican Republic, and we're in the Dominican Republic in the top part of this competition in the second round. So for Coach for Joseph Stebring, it's an opportunity. It's still there. Olympic qualifier still on the line for this Jordan lineup.
You mentioned the quality of players Jordan has. 7 of those players played in the 2017 Asia Basket. 11 of these players helped this team qualify for this World Cup. On the other side of things, all 12 of these Canadians played at one point or another in the World Cup qualifiers. Only one from the America Basket. And this is a team that are looking to just punch the ticket or help Canada punch the ticket to the Olympics. That is the goal. They still have that chance here in basketball.
Well, the last win got that, not winning for, 17 years in a World Cup. The last win gets that monkey off the back. Then they can look forward, because, again, this team's had a very disruptive preparation. And obviously there's been pressure. The aspiration is there for Canada. And Coach Nick Nurse, right in picture there, having won the NBA title, is going to want to come and make an impact on the international stage. Had experience at national team level. He's going to want this team to get to that qualification tournament.
We have Canada, Jordan first, Germany, Senegal later this evening. Both Canada and Germany at the top of Group P at the moment. The top 2 will keep themselves alive for a chance at the Olympics. Win here all but assures Canada an opportunity for one of those Olympic qualifiers next summer. Fans all around excited to see this one. Jordan, Canada, live from Shanghai. We'll break now for the national anthems. First from Jordan, then from Canada.
Now, please take the formation of Jordan.
meet at center court for the first time this evening. Exchange some small gifts.
Hey, stay healthy, bro.
And we'll get an opportunity to introduce you to the 3 officials who will be in charge of this game. Jorge Vasquez, Puerto Rico, will be the crew chief. Those 3 men on your screen in charge of the game between Canada and Jordan. Now gets an opportunity to now talk with basketball.
Well, you know, Colin, it's going to be really interesting to see how Ahmed Adawari does here, the Fenerbahce center. He's going to be a key guy for this Jordan lineup as we see the starting lineup there. The problem is scoring for this team. They just haven't been able to score consistently, and they've turned the ball over a little bit too much. They're way down the list on assists. So there are obviously options that their issues have been at the offensive end in terms of staying in games. As we get to see Dawari plays his basketball in the EuroLeague for Fenerbahce, averaging 19 points a game for Jordan. That's the other issue they have. 2 guys scoring 19 points each. They only average 67, and over 2/3 of their points coming from 2 guys.
Canada will have their hands full trying to stop that man. Fenerbahce, obviously one of the most talented teams in the world, and he's definitely a rotational player on that squad. Here we go for the team from Canada. The 5 you see there, as I mentioned off the top, they got their first win over Senegal and looking to build off of that. Wilcher, Birch, Ejim, Joseph, and Pangos. And Corey Joseph, our spotlight player for this one.
It's an interesting dilemma, isn't it, for Coach Nurse? And Corey Joseph, because he can create, takes a little bit of pressure. Sometimes it's the balance between the fact he can create and averaging 18 points a game. You know, would it be better for him to have 16 a game and 6 assists? Would it be better for him to involve others a little bit more? But that's a balance. When a team's had disruptive preparation, those are the things that a team has problems with. And this Canadian lineup, 6 players, 20+ minutes a game, that's where it comes from. Maybe they're not as deep as they would have been with other players here, but hey, the players here have made that commitment. The players here have helped in qualification, and now they've already helped in taking them very close to qualification for the Olympic tournament. They don't want to be here, and sometimes they would much rather be in the second round looking to get to the quarterfinals. Sometimes that can be a factor with you mentally, but with an Olympic qualification spot in the offing, you would expect them to come out here, do a professional job, and move on.
Hey, first set,
Joey Steinberg, sorry,
power,
the head coach
power, okay?
for Georgia. We'll listen to his
the lob, look for it. If it's not there, run it all the way through, okay? We can get it to him inside. Here we go now. Canada, 1, 2, 3, Canada.
Nurse, the leading man for Canada, fresh off of winning the championship NBA with the Toronto Raptors. Got his first victory as a head coach. His team defeating Senegal, Don Juan, and now trying to stay undefeated here in Shanghai.
And like Nick Nurse, obviously you can't get any better than winning an NBA title, but he had a fair amount of national team experience, part of the Great Britain lineup in their bid for 2012, so he knows international basketball. So in some ways, Canada have got the best of both worlds here. An NBA coach has been successful, plus someone who feels at home in the international game. So, you know, if it's you would hope for Canada that Nurse stays in this role. They can prepare looking for an Olympic qualifying tournament space, and they have some continuity, which can only help.
Oriental Sports Center here in Shanghai. You get the bird's eye view there as we get set for the opening tip. Had fun here in Shanghai. We've seen some good games when we had Group E. We can look to build off of that momentum here with Jordan, Canada. And we're underway here in Shanghai, China. Canada and Jordan. Canada, of course, in the home whites. Jordan will wear the road black with gold trim. Already inside, here's Melvin Ejim, his first touch. Pump fake, fall away, no good. Ken Burt's a good sign for Canada as he hammers it home.
Well, they do a marvelous, great job. Burt's had a really nice tournament. If Jordan don't box out, this could be a very long early evening.
Bang with Birch. Joseph there to help. Beautiful move. Layup. By Ahmed.
Well, that's one of the things, obviously, you know, Coach Nurse would have talked about the two guys that score, so that the other guys have got to move. The other guys have got to see the way that Canada's playing their defense, as they did there, get a good option.
First going one-on-one. His left-hand shot, no good. Sign, though, and Birch being aggressive early on for Canada. Ibrahim being watched by Pangos. Wari. 7 on the shot clock. Ibrahim now looks inside. 3 to shoot for Jordan. 3 on the way as the shot clock expires. No good. Wari pulls it down. Ball squirts out. And it'll stay on this side. Last touch by Canada. It's the shot clock.
Well, Diari does a great job on the glass, but then he commits that, you know, we see the replay of the first two. Nice move off the glass, but he commits that cardinal sin of bringing it down and playing with the guards with it. Didn't go straight back up, tried to power up off the dribble, but Jordan, you can see the plan, can't you? You know, make the game short, keep it low scoring. That puts a lot of pressure on their responsibility on the glass as well.
Tucker's first 3 in air ball. Tucker scored well for Jordan, 19.3 points per game coming into this year in the tournament. Only shooting 35% from the field. Joseph trying to crossover. It actually went off his Tucker's foot, but referees allowed play to continue. Edgen picks it back up, blowing right by Eldouari for 2. It's a tough matchup for Eldouari.
And he switched and he just didn't gap him. He didn't offer him a shot. He just tried to step out. And Egypt does a great job recognition and going early.
We're too early on for Canada. And inside Eldouari. Double coming. Joseph behind him. And it's going to be another turnover here for Jordan.
As we just said, Diarra gets the basketball in the post. Everyone in a black shirt can just stand still. No one moves. There were people open because Joseph obviously came to double team, but you're not moving, you're invisible. You think you're in space. You actually got to be able to actually have a clean sight of where the ball is. And you can see where Jordan are disjointed down the offensive end because they're literally spectating when it goes inside.
Because of the turnover here, different rules here in FIBA. You get 14 on the shot clock, not a press 24. Angles for 3, they didn't need the press 24 as Bengals knocks out his first triple. 7-2 now in favor of Canada. Tucker probing, trips over Bengals' foot. He wanted a foul call. Comes the other way. Foul on the open floor. Here's the replay. Bengals 3.
So good in rhythm, isn't it? Comes off, gets his inside foot to the basket in rhythm, strokes it. Hamashi's foul is close to an unsportsmanlike as we've seen here. He just stopped the possession.
Joseph keeps the dribble alive, falls away, no good. Ibrahim pulls down the rebound. Ibrahim, Abbas. Really an adept passer. Abbas was not ready to take the shot. Here's Tucker with 8 to shoot. Double comes. Abbas launches the 3. Front of the rim. Kent Birch pulls down a left-handed rebound. Dribble picked up now by Pangos. Edgen, wide open Kyle Wilcher. Can't do that.
Well, you've got to credit Canada's defense, but you know, offensively, again, wide on looks, but offensively at the moment, Jordan is standing. The ball sticks with the ball carrier. You just have to look at the Canadian defense. No one's being moved. Everything's in front of them. Jordan has just got to move the basketball a lot sharper. He traveled.
Sure did for Ibrahim. Another turnover here for Jordan. Let's take a look at the last 3 by Wilson.
Yeah, They got it down the floor. They skipped it. They made the extra pass. Someone's wide open. Whereas the ball with Jordan stays with the person in possession pretty much most of the 24 seconds.
Wilcher comes off the curl. Now looking for help. Inside, Birch has Abbas on his back. Birch. And the foul. Confident move by Ken Birch there. He'll go to the line for one more. Good by Ken Birch. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He's improved in every game in this tournament. Abbas, job, Canada again. Trying to go with the defensive stop. Awari, and the foul.
Got to give him a lot of credit for that because he really had no right to get himself, get the ball back because Abbas had dribbled into a real hole. Awari just gets down, stays low, and then he does a really good job protecting the basketball, uses the glass. And having not seen a lot of Jordan in this tournament so far, covered him a little bit in the qualifiers, and he's having to get his own, but he's probably getting his own like that. Because every time he touches the ball at the moment, he's double teamed and no one moves.
He's the only one that's scored so far for Jordan. Down 13-5 to Canada. Birch sets the screen for Pangos. This is Joseph. Is up fake, now drives. Finds Benjamin in the corner for three. Good ball movement there.
Well, Canada looking what they are, a starting lineup that everybody can play, everybody can score, and everybody already has scored.
Tucker driving inside. His shot no good. It's tapped away by Birch. Falls out of bounds to stay on this end.
Carl, that's another example. Tucker makes a strong penetration, draws three defenders as we get a replay of the sweet-looking three from the corner. The three defenders get drawn. No one is open because they just stand still, and you just make it so difficult for the man with the ball to create.
Here's Tucker now probing. Gets fouled by Pangos. In the axle, he'll toe the line. Probably one of the most interesting players at this FIBA Basketball World Cup is Tucker, guard Tucker, for Jordan. Originally from Saginaw, Michigan in the USA. He is a left-handed player who shoots free throws with his right.
Just to make this game that is obviously really complicated anyway, just a little bit more complicated. And shoots a good percentage doing it.
Does everything left-handed, writes left-handed, eats left-handed, dribbles left-handed, takes threes left-handed on occasion. He'll even switch it up and go right-handed for three depending on the situation. Some of us are just trying to make off-handed layups. This guy's out here shooting threes with his offhand.
Did he break that hand when he was learning how to play or something?
He's always had the ability to go either way. Decided to go right-handed because he shot a better percentage at the free throw line with that. Wilcher. Posting up inside, Wilcher. It's a good sign for Canada. Wilcher's going to go inside and add to his outside game.
If you show him in the middle, you got to help because he gets that deep on the inside, he's going to score or you're going to foul him.
Ibrahim turns the corner on Pangos and gets his first two.
This is a great opportunity for Freddie Ibrahim, the young. He's only 22 years old to play at this level.
Not only is it a great opportunity, he's actually Canadian, born in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Wilcher knocks down a three. That's his second in a row. It's up to 8.
Well, the Canadian ball movement and the getting shots with your feet set, you're going to shoot great percentages. Haven't really been taken out of what they want to run at any stage.
Abbas, 7 on the clock. He's fouled away from the basket. It's on the floor. Wilcher picking it up. It's Wilcher's first as we take a look at his last 3. Spacing for Canada has been really good to start this game, making Jordan really have to defend the entire half.
It's not for Jordan to worry about now, but they could take this video and say, difference between us and them is nothing more, is obviously a lot more different things, but look at this. These guys that create more space to play, giving us more challenges defensively. We're standing much closer, really not moving away from the basketball. Before you get into individual talent, that gives the Canadian offense so much more advantage.
Abbas called for the foul. Tried to hold Melvin Edgem. That's the first miss for Wilcher. First miss for Canada from three-point range as he pulled up. Tucker for three. No good. And Birch pulls it down. Angles looking to push the other way. Wilcher showed the up fake. Now he has Tucker on his back. He'll go to work as everyone clears out. Wilcher fall away. No good there. And Ibrahim pulls down the rebound. There's Abbas. He has to be careful. He has 2 fouls. Ball slapped away and goes out. Some of the pictures here from a big basketball broadcast. 20 cameras here. And up that 25 quarterfinals in each city. Referees are mic'd up. If we get a review, we'll be able to listen in and drop onto what they're talking about.
Great initiative that's been. It's just taking all the pressure off us because we're not referees.
Definitely don't need a whistle over on this side. Scrub checked into the game, comes up with a steal immediately. Canada going into their bench a little bit. Morgan, Heslett, Clausen on the floor for the Canadians. Tango's the only starter so far. 10 on the clock, here's still Scrub. Clausen inside. And gets the roll.
I can't tell you right now what Jordan are trying to do with that defense. They're almost just playing straight up because there's no help. It's not as if they're forcing it to a particular area. So they're pretty much getting what they want by just executing really well.
Another steal for Phil Scrub in the exact same spot. Push the other way now. Angles wide open for 3. In, no. Halfway down. Fresh shot clock for Canada. Angles probing. Now Phil Scrub, he's also wide open for 3. Makes Jordan pay with that one. And a timeout for Jordan. 26-9, Canada in front with 2:01 to go in the first quarter.
Well, we're going to listen to this Jordan timeout, but at the moment they're playing like a team that's lost by 39 and 36. They just look like they've had all the activity just squeezed out of them in those last 2 losses.
You got to be the reverse guy. If Guerry's down, you're the reverse. Okay, we got to get power triangle, reverse the basketball. Come on, we got to run. We got to run our offense. Guys, every time Guerry's getting the ball, they are double teaming. I mean, they're coming. Whoever's the closest guy. We got to look to move, cut, do something.
This is one of those moments when you're sitting here, you understand exactly what he's going through. He's going to say this exactly what he just said. There's a double team coming. We got to move. We got to run out. It's almost a little bit more than that. He's got to find a way to get these guys to want to pick up the energy level both ways. I mean, they're getting beat in transition. They're getting back. They stop a layup, but they're giving up wide open threes every time in transition against a team that shoots the 3-ball really well. It really is. It's going to be a mental effort for Jordan to pick themselves out of this hole, having had the 2 big losses they've come here with.
Okay, Birch off to a hot start. 5 points, 3 rebounds. He takes a seat. Much reserve rest. As he has his team in front, 26-9, under 2 to go here in the first quarter. First game for both these teams here in the second phase of this FIBA Basketball World Cup. Georgia looking for their first victory here as Ibrahim's pump fakes and sets up for 3. One thing about the crowd here in Shanghai, every game that we win, they root for the underdog in every single game. And if Jordan makes a run, this crowd will start to support them a little bit.
And they love those plays that you just saw there with the up fake and the flyby, and they recognize it. It's a very high IQ for the crowd. They know what they're seeing, and they would just love to see as they get there, the 2 out of bounds, they would love to see Jordan make a run of this. They don't want to see a blowout.
Elwari knocks in his first 2. Oregon for 2, no good. Ibrahim comes up with a flat-footed rebound. Freddie Ibrahim watched by Bengals. Mari hands it right back to Ibrahim. Here we go with the screen and roll. Mari surrounded by defenders. Nice spin inside. Can't get it to go though. And Clausen puts a fork in it. Here comes Canada the other way with a minute to go in the game. First quarter. Might feel like the game for Jordan. Kessler on the drive. Clausen, that's a 2, and it's good.
That's really nice by Canada. They go down one side, have a look, reverse it, have another look. They go back to the third side of the floor. They get the ball on, back and forward, stretch the defense. Bread and butter 12-footer.
A little jump shot by Ibrahim is good. Shot clock and game clock. It's identical. Nurse hops off the bench, calls out a set. Canada will play for the last look here in the first period. It goes in by Ibrahim. Austin's going to get called for the offensive foul. Good defense there by Freddie Ibrahim. Trying to fight over that screen.
Where has that defense been? That's the first time, the last possession, their hold would go after. That's the first time they've actually forced Canada to sort of struggle to execute. First time in the whole first quarter. That effort's got to be there at this level at a World Cup much more consistently. Now it's tough because Freddie Ibrahim's been out there for the whole quarter.
In the quarter on a high. This team now under 5 to shoot here in the first quarter. Loses the handle. Joseph, good if it goes. And he banks it in! Corey Joseph, basically from Pickering, Ontario, Canada with that one. And they close the quarter with a bank 3. Got it off in plenty of time. Smiles all around for their head coach. After one, Canada up 31-13 here in Shanghai.
Well, it sums it up, doesn't it? That last play, the last 24 seconds, sort of sum up the situation. We get the highlights of that of this first half. But Jordan's struggling. They do a decent job. They get the stop. Ibrahim almost dribbles it straight into Canada. They come back. George just makes it from the halfway line. Just sort of sums up the way the whole quarter went. All about the fact that Canada is just far too good for Jordan to stand off them. And if they want to make anything in this game, they're going to have to play more defense than that. So if they play like that, it's going to be, well, at the moment we're on course for 120 to 50. That's not the game this crowd has come to see, and that's actually nowhere near as good as Jordan are. They are far better than that.
No question.
But it's just a mental thing. It's hard. People can sit at home and go, they should. It's just mentally very, very difficult in the situation they're in. They know they've got to come here, win both games to make the chance of Olympic qualifier. They've just been beaten by 30 plus in the last 2 games. And they look like a team that's been beaten 30 plus. A team that did great in qualification is just not doing themselves justice. At some point, they've got to challenge them as men. It's one of those challenge you as a man, not as a basketball player. But it's a very easy thing for me to sit here and talk about. It's a very, very much more difficult thing for coach and his staff to get his players to respond, especially against a team of Canada's quality, who, if they're relaxed like they are, and it got better every game, are literally looking a very, very good team.
Off we go here in the second quarter, 31-13 your score. Favor of Canada, Carlin Gay alongside Mark Clark. Games like this, do you miss coaching?
Miss coaching? No. It's games like this where you like to be here, because it's very easy to tell coach that, well, this is what you could do.
Wins and losses a little different on this side as Hessler knocks down the 3. Canada shot the ball extremely well from 3-point range. They are now 7 and 9 from three-point range.
And they're a good team. They came out of probably arguably the toughest group at the first round.
Tucker, bucket and the foul. I don't think anyone's arguing with you. That was the toughest group because named the group with that Lithuania, Australia, Canada, and Senegal. As you take a look at the Tucker replay, you're right, Mark. It was a tough group, regardless of the talent level that Canada had brought to China. It was always going to be a tough task to get out of that group.
Because any one of those teams, if they'd have come out that first round, you say, well, how far are they going to go? This is not some of the groups you go, well, Dominican probably a great job getting the second round. They're not going any further. And you take the achievement, you've guaranteed your place in the qualifier for the Olympics. The Canadian team with its disrupted prep and all the other issues that are much documented, takes you a while to get going, and they haven't had that time. Now, shoot the ball for fun. They have some talent. The trouble is for Jordan, though, you can't let players of this quality shoot the ball that open and expect to get anything but a made three.
That last three by Phil Scrubb. Jordan launching a three of its own, no good. Also Hussein on the launch. Back the other way comes the team in white. Joseph driving inside. Nice pass outside to Heslip. Heslip has it go in and out. Not only are they shooting the ball well, but Canada's threes are wide open right now. Start the game.
Heslip's movement away from the basketball just made Joseph's pass easy. But again, the lack of defense from Jordan.
Tucker, stolen by Joseph. Here's Heslip on a pull-up three. Got it.
Wow, the last play. Tucker puts it on the floor, no one moved. There's space on the sideline. If someone had just moved to the corner, he gets double teamed, nowhere to go. Turnover, they come in the other way. Wide open three.
Walking a tightrope is Tucker. Breathe a sigh of relief there. Frustrated here in the second half, or second quarter, I should say. Nice move there. Getting the first two. He's played well.
Yeah.
In the FIBA Basketball World Cup. After the third, 19.3. Morgan, it's three no good. At some point, they are going to cool off the Canadians, aren't they?
Well, I don't think you're going to go at the rate they're going, but it's not hard to keep it going if you're giving open shot after open shot.
Still there by Hussein. Blocking foul picked up by Connor Morgan. By Heslip.
I mean, you can't be any more open. That's almost like when they came out before the game and the volunteers are passing the ball because there's no one in the facility. And again, though, to emphasize, Coach Stevens, it's a dilemma. You know, national team coaching in this situation is what do you do? If you give them, you can't actually bully your team into doing this. You've got to challenge them. And there comes a point where they've got to want to get out because they were back again. There was someone protecting the basket. No one got out.
That team knocks down the three.
8 points a game in qualifiers, Shatini. You can shoot the ball. This team is not a bad team. They're just not playing at the level defensively.
Joseph, that's the first time now Canada's missed 2 threes in a row. See if Jordan could go on a little run and cut into his lead a little bit. Dean just knocked down a three. He's probing now.
Again, no one to pass to.
Morgan on him. Only feet inside. Joseph slapped it away, and it stays on this side. 5 seconds to shoot on the clock. I thought it touched him.
Looked like it came off his knee after he released it, right? Maybe the referees are in that. Well, let's just give them the benefit. I'm sure they're not, but every time someone penetrates, it's the most stark difference between the two teams, apart obviously the shoot, the ability and the experience Canada have. Canada move, Jordan don't. It's hard to find anybody.
Hussein from the top of the key has it rattle home.
Because they can score, they can shoot, they're just not moving off the ball to create the opportunity to let it go.
Joseph without lead on his trap Joseph. Edges down the lane, gets fouled, he'll go to the line for 2.
I won't say it anymore. Another example. They can shoot. He's wide open. They can knock it down. All they have to do is move before, to get set when the penetration. Come down this end. Not only is the perimeter moving well, but he just splashes to the keyway, gets a wide open look, gets fouled. That's just the ability to move away from the basketball. The penetration creates angles. Canada are just at a different level. I mean, we can break it down as much as we want. There's a team here playing at one level, and Jordan, without the lack of defensive effort, are just not at the same. They're not in the same game.
It's also a team that has now played 3 games together. Looks a lot better than they did game 1. They're getting more comfortable with everybody on the floor together, and it shows. Building that chemistry. He got caught in the air, was able to pass it off. Looks for Abbas down low, goes out of bounds. 13 on the clock. Sane, that's a 2, no good. Joseph pulling down the rebound. Push the other way. It's a Birch screen. Now it's Edgem on the drive. Able to float it after taking the contact. 4 points for Canada.
That's an impressive move, the way he finished the play. Took a lot of contact. Still under control.
Wadi knocks down his first 2 of the night.
There's another guy, double digits. He averaged double digits in the qualifier, so the guy can score.
Great ball movement by the Canadians. Leads to another 3 from Brady Heslin. Now they're just trading 3s for 2s. Canada big. Dean answers a 3. Shot of his own from downtown. Only a 17-point game. Plenty of time left. Not only in the game, but here in the second quarter. And Joseph turns it over, looking for Birch on the roll. You want to get down within 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're Coach Nurse now, your team in the first period couldn't have played any better defensively. No one really took the intensity out of their defense. Someone was always on the ball. They've just given up 2 or 3 wide open looks. As we've said, this isn't a bad team. They just can't play at the same level. So as soon as you step your defense off, Jordan are going to be able to make scores.
That open shot no good by Wadi. Nurse calling a set from the bench as Joseph probes. Wilcher is open for 3. Indeed.
And how Hashi stood and watched the help and then just didn't help the helper, and there's another wide open 3. You got to scramble. You got to help the helper, make another pass. And then Jordan can start, can they play at this level? Well, you don't know right now because defensively they're not challenging Canada.
Dean on the up fake, had Bengals fly by, can't get it to go. Joseph the other way. Wilcher wants it, fires. Heat check time for foul.
When is someone in a black shirt going to realize, or when are a group of 5 players going to realize we have to challenge the shooter?
Canada's knocked down 12 threes in this game so far. 71% three-point range. Bengals took a shot low there. It goes down to the ground. As a 3 is answered by Jordan. Bengals is down right now. Looks like he'll be okay, but that one went south of the board.
Let's just describe it as being winded because Pangos is one of those guys. You don't play in the EuroLeague and the ACB in Spain without being tough enough to pick yourself up off the floor. He'll be back soon.
Andrew Nemar checks in for Kevin Pangos to give him a chance to gather himself.
Talking about players who experience, he's in Florida. He's still only 19 years old. This has had great success with the age group teams in Canada.
Canada's first gold medal at a World Cup for the U19s. RJ Barrett, part of that team as well. Joseph hits another three. You really like Andrew Denmark. You got a chance to call those games. Very impressive this game.
That Canadian team, I think it sums it up. You know, they had a superstar, but they had players who can play, and I was one of those. Did a really good job, and really under ridiculous pressure for 18-year-old guys to play in a World Championship final, to beat the United States in the semifinal, then back it up with winning the final. That's pressure. You know? First time ever a gold medal. He's going to live with it for the rest of his life.
Ibrahim pulls up for three, no good. Edward on the rock. Trying to find Birch. Ball kicked out of bounds. 16 on the shot clock. Discussion here. Referees are sitting right in front of him.
Well, you know, Amahashi's intensity there, they could carry that over into, you know, 5 guys playing defense. It's going to help them.
Wilcher up top, down hard.
Now, if you're gonna get so uptight about an out of bounds call, you got to go back and play defense. Everyone stood around, and at the moment it's like an exhibition game for Canada.
Great play call. Side out of bounds by head coach Nick Nurse, executed perfectly. It's 58-35, timeout on the floor, 2:22 remaining in the first half.
Hey, the bigs is hedging. Guys, y'all can't go under when he heads because he got to come back. He's running in 2 yards. Go over, you hear it? So he can stop the man. Ready?
Your man set a back screen. You got to help. Your man set it. You can't just go with him. Susan, we got it. 33, man. In transition, we got to locate him. We got to get to him. All right? He can shoot the basketball.
Talking about Kyle Wilcher there, he sure can shoot the basketball. Here's some of his highlights. 16 and counting. A lot of them, as you mentioned, Mark, open threes.
And you're feeling for coach here because he's made the coaching point, but the coaching point is Tucker's made. It's like Tucker made the coaching point before the coach made the coaching point. It's, you know, if your big man's going to hedge, so the guy that was guarding the eventual scorer has hedged on the screen. You can't expect him to then get back unless you help him get back. Either bump the guy rolling or cutting to the hoop, switching any back screen. At least that's the biggest problem Jordan have. They're just not playing any semblance of team defense whatsoever. But at the same time, Canada are just playing great. It's an exhibition type intensity they're going against, but you've still got to make the percentages.
3 off the mark there, and Birch pulls out another rebound. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Canada up big on Jordan at the moment. Win by Canada all but ensures them an opportunity for a qualifying spot to go to the Olympics next year. One of those 4 qualifying tournaments.
You know, and it's you know, looking ahead to that while this game is really developing into a real issue for Jordan. How tough is it to make it out of that? Those 6 teams, 1 qualification spot. You know, the prize is phenomenal, but the challenge is extreme.
Canada has to go through that at the last Olympics, travel all the way to the Philippines. Some of these players on the court now participated in that band. Just finished the layup, participated in that tournament. They went all the way to the finals of that Olympic qualifying tournament and lost to France.
You know, they've got the added issue this year that the Olympics is a little earlier. That means that qualification tournament's got to be a little earlier. So leagues are all trying to finish their time earlier. The one league that won't change its dates, understandably, is the NBA.
Right.
So it's really going to be a challenge for Canada, and it's almost not the preparation on the floor. It's the work they do, making sure everybody's available, ready to play. There can't be, is he not? Is he going to play? You've got to be in it.
Another steal here for the Canadians. He finds Nembhard for 3. Thomas Scrub with the rebound. Another 3 miss there. And the crowd getting excited by the 2 misses, trying to cheer on Jordan a little bit. Abdas has his man drop, oozing off from the crowd, and here we go. foul by Kajami King.
Yeah, Kajami King won't like that last minute of play, really. The bad miss on the three, then he falls to the floor, then he gets on the wrong side. He hasn't been in the game long. In this situation, Coach Nurse is, I don't think he's going to take him out or anything, but opportunity for him. He's been waiting for this type of opportunity to play throughout the competition, so he's got his own personal challenge and objectives in the game.
Strong pass. Three on the way, it's an air ball. Ball keeps finding Wilshire some way, somehow. Pushes it up the floor. Johnny King says, give me some space. That's Thomas Scruggs, excuse me, who had plenty of space. Another three-pointer for Canada make that 14 here in the first half.
It's an exhibition of how to shoot the basketball, but in practice, you shoot arounds before the game, they literally were practicing game shots because they are so open. And a lot of that is the penetration, but more than anything else, Jordan would have been faced when they faced France, in particular, Germany, those teams, when they faced Germany, when they came out of the group after facing France. Penetration kick to an open man, they wouldn't be, this is not going to be new.
Tucker has that squirt out of his hands. He'll keep possession for his team. His last touch, they say, by Nemhard. 0.7 to shoot here in the first half. See if Jordan can try to finish with a positive note heading into the locker room. It's Ibrahim, the trigger man. Awari open for three. No good. 63-35, your score at the half. Canada up big here in Shanghai.
Well, these numbers are going to be impressive to say the least if you're a Canadian fan. 61% from three, 64 from two. You've missed a couple of threes and everything else has dropped. Rebound-wise, there's been no rebounds for Jordan to collect because the shooting percentage has been pretty phenomenal. And so therefore, that Jordan locker room is going to be a straightforward, how are we going to deal with this? As Wilch is their leading scorers with a 16. If they make just one adjustment to chase the shooter off the three-point line, that at least makes them do something different. It's down to Jordan how they want to play the second half. They want to try and get some, I hate the phrase, respectability. They're going to have to play hard at the defensive end. Canada is just going to keep rolling here. This could be one of those all-time scores in World Cup history if it carries on like this. It's just been a great performance by Canada. Let's not dwell on Jordan. That's just been great for Canada.
It really has. 19 team assists. The ball movement has been superb. We'll leave you with some of the highlights from the first half and be back with the second half right here from Shanghai.
And now, the third round of the 18 years is that round of 20 is the Japan.
Beautiful connection. Wide open shot there for Garino.
Oh, taking it. Oh, get that out of here! Big block from Joji. Matthew trying to get past Coney, does get past him. Behind the back pass to Eric, who drops it in for two.
Man, that's a highlight because we were expecting him to fly.
No Gentile. Bounce pass into Brooks, pass behind the back, extra pass, Datto for three! What a team play from Italy!
That's wonderful passing behind the back, extra pass out and across, and the three is knocked down.
Brings it down now by Janovic. Well, Jovic is in all the space he wants.
Now Mike Marjanovic becomes point guard with a great no-look pass, and the alley-oop finish for Serbia.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
of the faces, young and old, that have joined us here at the Oriental Sports Center here in Shanghai, China. As we close in on the start of the second half here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Classification rounds. Canada up big, 63-35 over Jordan. Carlin Gay alongside Mark Clark. And Mark, you mentioned it before we went to the halftime break. Jordan's going to have to look themselves in the mirror when they get into the locker room and figure out how they're going to approach this second half.
It's like, do you really want to be the team that's in the record margin in a World Cup? Do you really want to be the team that's given up the most points in a World Cup? You know, that's the sort of question now. I mean, because then if they don't look themselves in the right way, people will forget, oh, they did a great job first game. They only lost by 4 points
Let's try to get stuff going
to the Dominican Republic. And just to put that in a context, they only trail Australia by 2.5. So, you know, where on earth where is that team that only lost by 4 to them? Because they're not here in the first half. Can't say enough good things about Canada. They've done everything you're supposed to do. Come out, play professionally, play at a level, get your job done. They've come in and have absolutely smoked Jordan for a half. Now it's up to Jordan to see how they want to respond. They can get it done to them. They can lay down and have it done to them again, or they can make a statement that they are better than that. They've made progress in the World Cup, and their qualification wasn't a fluke. Their performance against the Dominican Republic wasn't a fluke. And you can, you know, they're men. I can't believe they're going to want to like lay down and let Canada go and hit 63 on them again.
Started the second half here in Shanghai, China. Canada up 63-35. Win for Canada all but assures them a place in one of the 4 qualification tournaments for the Olympics next summer. 5 on the court for Canada on your screen. Pangos, Ejim, Joseph, Birch, and Wilcher. Wilcher red hot in the high man with 60 big points in that first half. Here he is on the ball now as he chases it down. Abbas on him. Joseph, Wilcher with the screen. Joseph turns the corner, lays it up, can't get it to go. And Cam Birch starts the second half the same way he started the first with a 2-handed smash.
A little deja vu, isn't it? Misses shot, Birch is throwing down the rebound. Okay, they haven't looked themselves in the right way if they carry on like this.
5 on the floor for Jordan. Ibrahim lets it give it inside. Jawari. Double comes quickly. He's had trouble with that double team, and another turnover here for Jordan. Joseph. Waiting for the Birch screen. Birch open his Pangos for 3. Indeed.
It's like throwing the threes. It's just like throwing it in the ocean. They just can't miss.
Another assist for Canada, now 20 in the game and counting. Tucker driving inside, eye off the glass, got fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. That fouls on Corey Joseph. Here's the last 3 by Pangos, and again another wide open look. The spacing in the ball movement here for Canada has been terrific. Most who have watched all Canada's games probably wondering, well, where was this team? They played Australia and Lithuania, but those teams are so physical, especially on the defensive end, that it's a little bit different. Jordan really hasn't provided that resistance. That could change. Tucker hits his first free throw. Over to edge. First time we see a zone now for Jordan. Wilcher open for 3. Got it. Zone not effective that time. Give Wilcher 19 to count it. Tucker probing. Abbas is open for 3. He gets it.
I mean, Tucker's pass forced the movement to go and get the ball, then they shared it again. But as we've kept saying, this team can play. They can shoot the basketball. You don't get to the World Cup without being able to do that.
This is Pangos from the corner. Can't get it to go. Tapped behind by Birch. Joseph pulls it down. Nice pass by Kevin Pangos. A great cut by Kyle Wiltshire.
Cut behind the zone's standing around. You don't get the matchup. Great find though.
Abbas driving over Wiltshire. Crashing into the signage here. Slow to get back. Leaving his team at a disadvantage. Can't make them pay with that three. Joseph asking for it again. Wiltshire will deliver the pass, and this is Joseph for three. He gets it this time. As you said, it's like throwing rocks into the ocean at the moment. That's a 17th three-pointer on the night for Canada. 11 points now counting for Corey Joseph. Ibrahim. Swatted away by Kem Birch. Abbas for three, left it short. Joseph pulls down another rebound. Wiltshire deep three. Got it! Kyle Wiltshire, red hot here in Shanghai. Tucker watched by Edger. Tucker steps into a three. The foul was called. I say it's on the floor.
Yeah. I think it was fouled off the ball.
Quick release by Wiltshire. Well, when Wiltshire gets going, there's not many teams that can go out there and stop him.
No.
Look out, Edgen on the run. Something for the crowd to cheer about here in Shanghai as Edgen pounds it home with a slam. To go here in the third quarter. Another Wari with the ball. Tucker down low. That's slapped away by Edgem. Canada on the push. Joseph, the corner. Edgem shows. Cross-court pass. What if Wiltshire takes this shot?
It's almost like if they share it enough, they'll all get easy ones.
Like
that.
All the way to the tin. And another layup. Leads to a timeout. Smiles all around for the Canadians. 83-42 is the score. 5:37 left to go in the third quarter.
Got Query, Zuzu, and Hamache.
I'm bad on that pass, bro.
Well, we can. This will be an interesting timeout.
Hey, we got to communicate, all right? Talk. We're just letting guys drive to the basket. Nobody's communicating or not. You gotta at least talk to each other. Help each other out. Jordan, you got Hamache. You got Zuzu, and you got Prairie, okay? Hey, move the ball, guys. Talk on defense.
That man right there has been red hot this evening. 24 big points. And as you said, it's like he's shooting in a gym all by himself. Fans looking online for a number 33 jersey in white. He's played that good.
And there was a lot of conversations about one or two of the groups in this World Cup about how tough they were. Just mentioned it in the first half as we see Wiltshire's numbers. I mean, it's just, what a night. It's just 24 compared to his 11 on the tournament so far. And they're going up against Lithuania and Australia, two teams that have aspirations to be on the podium. So they did get the short straw, and they're pretty much underlined. So all you can do then is be professional, get to the qualifying tournament. That's what they're doing.
Suki waits for a curl from Tucker. Edgem getting in his stance. A foul. It's offensive foul as Heslop hit the deck. Hussein pleading his case. He's saying he was held by Heslop. That's the reason why he threw number 4 to the floor. You be the judge at home. Angles crosses court. Here's Edgin. Boston into the game now for the Canadians. Sets the screen for Pangos. Heslop for 3. No good. Edgin chases down the rebound. Fresh 14 for the team in white.
When they missed, they're giving up offensive rebounds as well. So there's nothing else Canada can do here, right? Oh,
Wilcher, deep 3. Got it! He might have to start throwing them from behind his back to make it a little difficult.
yeah. Make hay while the sun shines, so to speak. When it's your night, why not keep putting the numbers up?
It's 27 points. The tournament high is 34. He's well on his way to eclipsing that. They want to find Wilcher. He wants the basketball. Clausen. Pangos. That's a 2. And he hits. Shooting gallery now for the Canucks. 10 on the night for Pangos. Four players in double figures already for Canada. Hussein banging down low. Tried to force it over Wilcher, gets his own miss and puts it in. Here's some effort there by Jordan. The up fake, driving inside. He's fouled by Hussein, and he'll go to the line for 2.
You mentioned the effort on the glass down the other end. It's like, but there's just no consistency of effort. And you know, Wilcher's just made all those threes. When Pangos made his long 2, you'd have thought someone might be guarding Wilcher because he's on the 3-point line. They were just there again. They weren't in the lane to say, can someone else score? They would try. Okay, it's an 88-44 game. Let's not get too into it, but there does come a point where you have to, are we going to play hard or not? Because there's a lot of people at home in Jordan that were proud of the team to get here. They'll be watching them on TV. They'll be wanting them to at least put on a show and represent the country. That's why there's never normally a dead game in national team basketball, because it's not like your club, the end of the season. It's just like your country. So at the moment, Jordan's getting beat 90-44 by Canada, and that's what the fans at home are going to be seeing.
As you mentioned, they lost to the Dominican Republic by 4. And the last time we checked the scoreline, Australia are up 2 on the Dominican Republic. Good block there by Clausen. Stays on this end, 8 shoots. Granted, Canada is hitting every shot that they have open, but the problem is those are open looks.
Yeah.
Suki gets it to go. Soft touch on the rim.
So again, a shooting cut was really good. He curled off the screen, really attacked the ball, shoots the ball. Play hard down this end. Get something down this end.
That slip, open for 3. Rebound Tucker. Watch by Kajami Keene. Tucker driving inside and able to get it to go. Guard Tucker high off the glass for 2.
Tough finish, a lot of traffic, a lot of contest on the shot.
Kajami Keene able to get his first of the evening. 92-48 your score. 2:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tucker watched by Nemhard. Driving inside. Push shot no good. Hussein with the offensive board. Hard off the glass. And a foul is called on George will go the other way. Wasley picks up the foul. See it on the replay here. Judge at home. Well, that man has to be happy with the performance that he's seen from his club. Played well so far in this game. Time to close it out.
They could have 100 by the end of the third here.
Wilshire might have 100 of his own. An air ball there. It's picked up by Clausen. Everyone expected the ball to go out of bounds, and Clausen ends up with a dunk.
Oh, nothing sums it up more than that for me. Clausen's playing, no one else is. Saves it going out of bounds. Throws it back to the top, steps back inbounds, gets a dunk. He's working. No one from Jordan was on that play.
Inside, that's Hussein. Faces Clausen, shoots over him, no good. John McKean pulls down the rebound. He pushes, Nemhard inside, Wilshire for 2. 29 big points for Kyle Wilshire. The tournament high is 34. Does he stay in the game to get it? Stick around to find out. Minute 60 to go in the third quarter, Canada up.
Hey, only got one timeout left to stop a run, okay? I got it. Y'all got to, like, get back on defense. On 33, we're going over the top of screens, not under. You're saying under. We're hedging, recovering, in case you didn't know. Yeah, that's fine.
They got 3 people being up back. Yeah, let's go secondary stay, secondary stay, magic stay, counter stay. Everything is stay now.
Go hammer right here. Hammer. Here we go. Try to get to the basket. You had a clear path and you pulled it out. Get to the basket.
I think the last point coach should have to be making right now is that we're going over, not under screens. You know, the fact his team has just literally been torched from the three-point line, whether they're coming over off of a ball screen, off of a screen away from the basketball, there's no way they should be letting people catch the ball in space and in rhythm and shooting the basketball. So, you know, it's tough enough to concede 100 points in any level of basketball, but to concede it after 3, you know, it tells you a lot about where this Jordan team is.
Minute 10 to go here in the third. Dean on the dribble. And slip. Tried to poke the ball away. He's going to get called for a foul. Despite the scoreline, though, Canada has not let off the gas, especially defensively. One thing Nick Nurse should be happy about is talk about the threes and what's happening offensively. Defensively, they really put the pressure clamps on Jordan. 5 on the shot clock. See if they realize it. Dean toss it up, can't get it to go, and a foul. The shot clock expires. Hussein is holding Clausen and walks to the other end and shoots some free throws as Jordan's in the penalty. On hand. A lot of youngsters in the building as it's a Saturday night here in Shanghai. What better way to spend it? Taking some basketball.
That's a great move by the organizers, isn't it? You know, these are the games where sometimes it's a difficult sell. Get the young kids in, let them see these, let them see how to shoot a basketball in this game, because Canada's given them a real demonstration.
3 in and out. Clausen pulls it down. John McKean, a collision at center. Hussein. That ball scored out of his hands, goes out of bounds. He's asking for a foul call, maybe checking for some blood. .28 to go here in the third period. That being the trigger man here for Jordan. driving on Klaas. Foul is called. And they say it's in the act. He'll go to the line for 2.
That's a tough move. He just ripped it and went. I mean, Jordan, to be fair, offensively, aren't actually far below where they've been in most of this tournament. 67 is what they average. They're at 48 now. They just haven't played a stitch of defense.
Saints' first free throw good. Plays his pro ball locally in Jordan. 9 players play in that pro league in Jordan. The one in the Euro League has been pretty much held down. Ahmed Al-Dawari. Al-Dawari came into the game averaging 19. He is the tournament high man. He had a big 34-point performance against the Dominican Republic in that loss. They only lost by 4. Canada content to hold for the last look. Thomas Scrub on the curl. The foul is away from the basketball. That will be Connor Morgan heading to the line for free throws. Hussein has been drawing with the refs for the last 2 minutes.
And he may well have a point. He may well be the most hard done by guy on the floor. But you're now 97-50. The referee's not going to solve that problem.
Picked up his 4th foul on that possession. He'll lead the game with 8:44 to go in the 3rd. Connor Morgan will toe the line. Canada a point away from the century mark. Still have a whole quarter left to play. Dean brings it up the floor. Dean tosses it up at the rim. He's looking for Al-Dawari. Potential highlight there. Didn't go Jordan's way. The night has not gone Jordan's way. It's gone Canada's way. 99-50 your score at the end of 3.
Well, these numbers are not going to look any worse, are they, for Canada? 74 and 58%. They've just been phenomenal.
I don't want you to ask them a question, nothing. How can I say something to the officials and I'm getting my ass beat by 50? I'm not saying a word.
Well, the only thing I disagree with Coach is that when he says how can he say something because he's getting his ass beat by 50 is that, like, it's the group. You know, the group's getting their ass beat by 50. And maybe those sorts, that's the conversation they probably should have had in the halftime locker room. But what's been for sure here is that this Canadian team has was underlying the quality that they have, underlying the fact that they were in a very, very tough group, and underlying the fact that they're a very, very good team of basketball players. And they're putting another national team down 49 with a quarter to go. So you take your hat off to them because they're being professional here. They really are finishing this off in the way that they need to, because they know also, even though it may guarantee them a spot in the Olympic qualifying tournament, that's going to be seeded. So if they can get the win over Germany, that's going to, tomorrow, that's going to improve their seeding, which means they may end up as a higher ranked seed and may end up theoretically making their job slightly easier. You'll take any crumb of comfort in that Olympic qualifying tournament because how tough that is.
No question about that. There's plenty to play for still for Canada. World rank of 23. We expect that to be updated, possibly a rise based off of the way they played in the World Cup qualifying. And if they walk away with 3 victories here at the World Cup, should help their rank. There's a lot of teams in the Americas that are above them where you're scratching your head a little bit whether or not they should be there. Mexico, for one, who isn't here at the World Cup.
Exactly. at the end of the day, when you can, all you can do is your job here. You know, win the game, win it by as many as you can, win tomorrow, get yourself as better place as you possibly can, and then go to the Olympic qualifying tournament, try and go that way to Tokyo.
That was always the goal. Secure a spot at the Olympics, and it's still alive for the Canadians. Dewari.
And some guys that have played in this tournament, in you would hope in Coach Nurse's eyes and in his assessment, say, well, this guy's done well. He's made the commitment. Let's just keep that dialogue open. Let's make sure they're available next year. Let's try and get some continuity that way, because that could be crucial in that competition.
FIBAWC, the last layup there. Bill Scrub tees up a three and knocks it down. Scrub himself has been hot from three-point range. He's 3 of 3. Dean, nice move. And Dewari hung onto the rim as he tried to tap it back in. Offensive goaltending is the call. Here it is at home. Doesn't matter if it's a 50-point game, you can't get away with that one.
No. And he didn't need to do it. Yeah, it's not like he needs to pull himself up there. That's a pretty easy putback if you don't want him to make it a pretty easy putback.
Boston checks back into the game as we see some of the youngsters that have enjoyed this one.
It's one of those things, you get into this big arena here, it's a marvelous arena. You watch the Canadian national team do this. Who knows? Probably a kid in the gym that could get inspired, could be 10 years down the road, could be out there playing.
Nemhard knocks down the triple.
Some kids in the gym who are not that much younger than him as well, so.
Been here now a week in Shanghai, you and I, and basketball is really taking over the city. Anywhere you go, they want to talk about the World Cup, or of course, wearing FIBA branded shirts. And even if they're not speaking English to us, they're still pointing to the FIBA emblem and saying that they're paying attention.
Yep. I mean, we're not the celebrities here. Obviously, the teams are and everything, but you've got your FIBA branded shirt on. You can bet your life no one wants you in a picture.
Taking a few.
They don't know who it is, but you've got the branded shirts on.
It's been good enough.
Yeah, for just 1 second as well, you know, the volunteers and FIBA and the organization, the scale of this tournament is phenomenal.
Oh my goodness. That move was phenomenal. He couldn't get the finish. Scrub pulls it down. Kajami Keen. Boston will tee up a three. Can't get it to go. Bench wanted that.
Well, the ball put on a little bit of weight. It took him a while to get it up, so it's got heavy on the release.
Dean with the crossover. Dewari inside and the foul. Over the top of Owen Kloss, and he'll go to the line for one more.
Well, Dewari's an investment for FIBAWC. FIBAWC aren't expecting him to be like Jan Vasily at this point in time, but he's in that scenario. They look at what the physical capability he has, and it's an investment. Therefore, you know, the return on that investment isn't this year, isn't next year. Him being at this tournament is part of that investment as well. And you know, it's one of the situations where a club like FIBAWC should be and would be, you would hope, pleased that they're a player in his stage of his career, he's at a tournament like this.
26 years of age, 210 centimeter big man, 6'11" for those who are using the other system. Dami Keen comes off the screen right down the lane. Gets fouled. He'll go to the line for two. Talking about the volunteers and everybody in the staff around the grounds here, not only in this city in Shanghai, but the seven other cities.
Yep.
Have been incredible. There were great reviews from our colleagues around the country of China.
And the system where the teams move around is, you know, we were fortunate enough to see at the beginning of the Czech Republic run in this competition. I mean, they currently sit at 13 up against Brazil.
How many people could pick them to even advance past this round as Morgan tees up the 3? And they could upset Brazil and end up in the quarterfinals. We may see them again.
Yep. Well, the United States are there. Tonight they have a tough game against Greece. Wherever you're picking up us now, you can pick up that game as well.
Abu Awaz knocks down in 3.
Well, it's what it is, isn't it? It's the World Cup. It should be, you know, the biggest festival, if you want, of basketball there is in the basketball calendar every 4 years. The best teams are here, so therefore it is what it's supposed to be. You know, there's always going to be stories.
Really will. 3-on-1 the other way for Canada. They got too fancy as John McKean went behind the back to Nemhard. You're wondering what the biggest score margin in World Cup history is? 59 points. Serbia defeated the Philippines this year. That's in jeopardy at this moment. Canada looking to get themselves in the record book.
Right. They want to be in the record book for that. That's the point about Jordan. Did Jordan want to be in the record books for all the wrong reasons? Well, they're down 48 points at the moment, and there's still 5:40 to go. And it's the same problem here. Everyone stands around. It enables the Canadian defense to know where the ball is.
Clausen stayed down, but it's called for the foul.
And he didn't have to foul at all, did he? The ball was almost behind the glass. It's going to be a tough shot. If someone makes that, they make it.
Well, as a head coach, you always look for teachable moments. This is now a measuring stick game for Jordan. They will file this away and say to themselves, this is where we have to get to. We have to get to this sort of level to compete on the world stage the next time we're there. Lawson has 4 fouls. He'll sit. So we'll see Canada go small for the first time in this game. Connor Morgan, the only big on the floor. Nemhard, Scrub, who's playing the 4, joined by his brother Phil and Kajami Key. Morgan, nice feed. Can't get it to go. Abdeen has Morgan on him. He wants to dance. He's driving. Scrub takes the charge.
And you got to give him a lot of credit for his team's up by this many, and he's still going to put his body on the line. But again, there's a team that's putting out a really professional performance on the floor, and it is the team in white. And there's nothing else they can do today apart from what they've done. Arrive in the gym, prepare properly, put a performance on the floor, shoot the ball, play deep, all those things you're supposed to do, but also you've got to work hard, and they've done both.
Tommy Keane comes off the curl. Scrub, thought about it, now launches. Can't get it to go. And the ball's pulled down. Double comes from Canada. Kajami Keane poked at it, so Nemhard. It's going the other way. Another turnover by Jordan. They're starting to mount up.
And if you are a beat in that situation, you feel the double team, make a pass. Pass it out the double team, someone's open. Don't look at the referee and ask for the referee for the call.
17 team turnovers for Jordan as Scrub launches, can't get it to go. His brother there to pick up the offensive rebound, and Connor Morgan will go back to the line as he was fouled on his shot attempt. It's the 4th team foul for Jordan. The next one puts them in the penalty. Morgan adds to Canada's big lead. Everybody on The roster has scored for the Canadians. Morgan now with 6 and counting after that free throw. 6 points, 3 rebounds.
There's only Scrub that's not into double-digit minutes. It's like Coach Nurse has always had to do really is manage minutes. All the work was done in the preparation for the game.
Also highlight there as Jordan crashing the offensive glass. 14 on the shot clock as Jordan Poole is bound underneath Canada's net. Game trigger man. Go inside. Double comes quickly for the Canadians. Bid is the ball slapped out of his hands. He'll stay here. 6 to shoot. Clausen comes back into the game. He has 4 fouls. Nurse wants him to finish the game off strong. Replace Will Scrub. Ruaz takes the 3. Air ball, and Clausen vacuums it in. Thomas Scrub inside. Nice move and kisses it off the glass. Back to Ruaz. Morgan on him, step back jump shot. That is smooth. John McKean wide open for 3 indeed. 22nd three-pointer of the night for the Canadians. Under 3 to go here in the game. Canada will take on Germany next. A game that mean anything in terms of the standing, but as you said, Mark, it will mean so much in terms of seeding next summer in the Olympic qualification tournaments. Morgan for 3.
If that works Canada up 1 more spot, or if that puts them into there'll be a group of 4 first seeds, 4 second seeds, 4 third seeds, etc. You get into 3rd and 2nd seeded groups, that obviously enhances your chances of making that the Tokyo Olympics.
Nice block. And Connor Morgan tried to keep it in bounds. Awesome. Bench appreciating that. We see him on the offensive end. He's also getting it done defensively. Well, Germany is going to pose a completely different problem for Canada. It's not going to be this type of game as Canada on a 6-0 run. Germany themselves have expected to move on to the 2nd round of the FIBA Basketball World Cup. They took a loss to the Dominican Republic, where many people were scratching their heads saying that shouldn't have been the case. So much talent on that team. Here.
Again, the Dominican Republic, people probably have thought, they stayed in it at the half to Australia. Well, they're still only down 8, still single digits. So, it's not a done deal at all. That just shows you the quality of basketball in the Americas. It shows you the quality of the basketball across the only probably, and it's been pointed out in this competition, it's the Asia region that really needs to find ways to become competitive. Africa's almost there, in terms of the traditional powerhouse countries. Nigeria almost came up with a win over Russia early in this competition. The talent is obviously there. So it's the World Cup is the 4-year measure of where that is.
We'll see Senegal, speaking of the African region, playing Germany later on. We hope you join us for that game. But you're right, there is. Georgia still had a lot to play for coming into this game. They still had the opportunity to grab that one and only spot out of Asia to qualify directly to the Olympics. Japan has already the automatic bid in terms of them hosting. If Jordan came here with 2 victories, they were in that conversation. They needed help.
Yeah.
But we're still in the conversation of trying to beat them. China with a big win yesterday, beating Korea.
Which, you know, again, it makes life a little simpler, a little bit more straightforward, but all you can do in that scenario is take care of your own business. And so you'd have thought Jordan would have come here and you'd have, the result may well have been the same. Maybe not 120 to 60, but the result may well have been the same. But you'd have thought, Jordan, give yourself an opportunity. Come up with something that might get you, keep you in the game, because Canada were going to come here disappointed by not being in the quarterfinals. So
Morgan running the floor beautifully, and Nevar found him with a gorgeous dish. Timeout on the floor, 122-66 is your score. We have a minute 34 to go in the game. How about that floor smash?
Well, we are close. They have a shot at the record margin because it's almost there. It's more than enough time to get it.
For this World Cup, it is Serbia who defeated the Philippines by 59. That's in jeopardy here as we listen
On a
into
rebound,
the final timeout here for Jordan.
back to the paint, right? I mean, we're down over 60, and we're giving up layups. Where's my guy in the hole? Nobody back. Pretty simple, guys. All right, let's go. Got nothing else.
I'll ask you again, Mark, do you miss coaching in moments like this?
No.
And
in some ways, you know, it's like sometimes you don't actually want to coach the game that Coach Nurse is having to coach, because it's like you're trying to find ways to keep things fresh. You're trying to find things to do, and in the end, you just start rotating players, and you don't want them to drop their level. And that's the one thing you can say about Canada. They have been professional throughout here. They have one time did they do a little Showtime stuff. Everything else has been basketball. They have respected the opponent throughout.
Still a minute 30 in the game, and as you can see, Kajami King not letting up at all. Abdeen for three, no good. Offensive rebound, and Kajami King comes away with a steal. Foul, and it's an intentional foul on the open floor by Abdeen, which means Kajami King will toe the line for 2 free throws. And Canada will get it. Of course, for those who are used to the NBA rule, here in FIBA, any non-basketball related foul, regardless of where it is on the floor, ends up being a sportsmanlike foul. Most of those situations occur in fast break opportunities. We've seen that throughout. Happened in the game against Team USA and Turkey in the game we called, and Oregon went to foul to extend the game, and it ended up being an unsportsmanlike foul.
And then Turkey had the same problem in the Czech Republic. Cedi Osman fouled out on 2 unsportsmanlike fouls.
Oregon for 3.
Well, that makes it 60.
My man, a happy man right now. Canada on its way to its 2nd win in a row here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Beat Senegal for their first victory. Keane in the corner driving. Emhart slapped at it. Kajami Keane didn't want it fouled. One of the only bright spots here for Jordan. He's played hard. He has 8 points, 4 assists. He's played hard. One of the few that for Jordan. Thomas throws 3, no good. Here's Abdeen the other way. Down the lane. FIBAWC. Tossed that out of bounds. No one touched it. It'll go the other way. Expression tells you all you need to know if you're just tuning in.
Yep.
Turnover number 19 for Jordan. Canada will be content to just dribble this thing out. Well, the crowd here will clap this one out as have shot clock violation. The scores table didn't realize that Hart handed the ball away.
There was a turnover as such.
Formality now. 126-68 unless this goes. It does! Down it! From 3.
Not really the thing you're supposed to do at that moment. If we're going to walk it off, we're going to walk it off, right? That could have been the record. Yeah, broke a record that.
Canada will take the victory either way, and the crowd got something to cheer about in the end. 126-71 the score as we take a look at it. It's 3 by Eldasuki. Got it off in plenty of time, splashed it home. So hey, 2 half-court shots in one game, not bad.
Not bad.
Canada wins 126-71 over Jordan.
Well, all you can say, Carlin, is that you had to come and win a game. Canada, they came, they won a game, they did everything they were asked to do. Jordan just didn't really give them anything to play against. And after so many years of not winning a World Cup final game, Canada go back-to-back. And regardless of the situation, they're going to be in the Olympic qualifiers. They're going to have a game and a matchup against Germany to follow, which it's a game against another nation. It's a game against a tough nation. You expect that to be a good one. 55% on the 3. They took 44 threes. I mean,
a lot of them were wide.
Oh, they took 44 threes and only 31 twos because they could. And they could do anything they wanted to do in the game. That's it's the disappointing thing about the situation is that Canada were allowed to do anything they wanted to do. There was not a matchup here. Canada rolled in, rolled over Jordan, rolled out. They get the win. They're in the Olympic qualifying tournament. They would like to beat Germany tomorrow to finish higher than them. That might help their ranking. Done. Jordan had a chance. They haven't anymore.
We'll leave you with the highlights here from this one. 126-71 Canada blowing out Jordan. For Mark Clark, I'm Carlin Gay. We'll say goodbye from Shanghai. A reminder, Germany and Senegal later on today from the Oriental Sports Center Arena.
So there's still only it's back to 13.
And now, as welcome Mr. Liu of TCL to present Cal Berger with the trophy for TCL Playoff Game, which is TCL 刘先生为 Cal Berger 把 TCL 这场最佳决胜杯。
Ladies and gentlemen, today's first game over. Raise your hand and throw birthday chicken tickets for 11 games. 女士们、先生们，请持有今天第二场比赛门票的观众重新检票入场。Ladies and gentlemen, today's first game over. Raise your hand and throw birthday chicken tickets for the second game. 女士们、先生们。请持有今天第二场比赛门票的观众重新检票入场，感谢各位。 Coming up in 2 stars here at the Orlando Sports Center here at the P1